Hi, boys and girls of Pictou Landing First Nations. This is Teresa. I just have to tell you, I got this call from Simon, and he said, "Oh, here he is." He said he was coming over because he had some news. Simon, like, what's going on with you? Lockdown? There's a lockdown? Hold on a second. Are you talking about the lockdown that's happening at Pictou Landing First Nations that was just announced by Chief Andrea today? Oh, so how did you hear about it? Oh, your cousin called you. And your cousin lives there, right? So are you feeling worried? Yeah. Okay, so first of all, before you can hear me, we have to practice the three R's. So the first R is we have to regulate. And the next one is it's called relate, which means we need to just kind of ground ourselves in who we're with and make sure that we're with people that make us feel safe. Do you feel safe with me? Okay. And then the last one is reason. And the reason piece is me explaining to you what lockdown means. Can we do that? Okay, so before I even get into that, I need you to practice your breathing. I know you probably hear that from lots of people. Have you heard that before? Okay. So when we say breathing, what happens is when we're scared about something or we hear something that makes um, our nervous system get all activated, then the best way to calm ourselves down, believe it or not, is to take a really deep cleansing breath. I know it's kind of hard to sit still that long, isn't it? Okay, so let's try it together. I really need you to try this with me. I'm going to do it with you, okay? So we go in through our nose and then out through our mouth. And then let's do it again. In through our nose and out through our mouth. And then one more time, okay? In through our nose and out through our mouth. And what happens when we do that is the oxygen actually gets into our blood and it goes through our whole body. And when we have stress hormones that have filled our brain, it actually calms them down so we can first feel comfortable with where we are because we're friends, right? You feel comfortable with me? Yeah, you can tell me anything because that's what I do with kids. I'm a therapist. They tell me all sorts of things. And then we can do the reason piece, which is the explaining what's going on. So I want to tell you and all of you when we hear the words lockdown, it sounds so scary, doesn't it? But actually, what Chief Andrea announced in her press conference today was that from 7 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning, they don't want anybody driving around the community. They think everybody's just better off, again, being with our families and staying at home. And if we're all doing that, then we're sure that everybody's getting a good night's sleep. Everybody's practicing social distancing so that, with that virus that's been going around that people catch sometimes, that we're not going to be sharing it amongst each other. So it's actually a really good thing. It's too bad that other mayors across Canada weren't doing the same thing and said to people, just unless you're a firefighter or a police officer or a security guard or a nurse or a doctor, that you should just stay at home. And then the kids also feel safer too because things are calmer and quieter, right? So did you read the book yesterday that we're just hanging around at home? Yeah. Who read it to you? Oh, your big brother read it to you. Okay, awesome. That's great. So when we stay at home, we're superheroes and we become world helpers. So it's really important that we do that. And when you hear that word lockdown, I know it probably made your heart get really fast. And then your head may have hurt a little bit. You may have felt a little dizzy. And I know when I get like that, my throat gets kind of sore. But it's going to be okay. All it means is Chief Andrea wants everyone to stay in their homes from 7 in the morning and 7 at night. And then she said something else that was really smart. She said that if we have dogs at home, that they shouldn't be just left outside to run around. Because if someone's outside during the day taking a walk, and a dog runs up to them, they might feel a little scared. But also then the dog's owner may have to go get the dog, and then people aren't practicing distancing and being 5 or 6 feet away from each other. So it's kind of important for that the dogs in our families are kept safe too, so they're on a leash and they stay at home. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Do you remember anything else from that you've heard from your cousin? Oh, I know one thing, that at the store and community that only 5 people are going to be allowed to be in the store at one time. So that means if there's 3 staff working there, that then there's only 2 other people that can come in the store, and that anybody that needs gas, they have to pump their gas on their own. So we're just coming up with these rules on a day by day basis just to keep kids and their family safe, right? So you know what I think we're going to do tomorrow? I want you and all of you that are watching to practice doing some deep breaths during the day. And you know what else you could do? You could get the adults that you live with to do the same thing. And if you sit beside each other, we can practice doing it together. And there's another activity that if you have bubbles at home, we can practice blowing bubbles. That helps us with breathing too. So, tomorrow I'm going to teach you something called progressive muscle relaxation. And that's something that we can do like just before we go to bed if we're having a hard time sleeping, or in the morning, or even during the day. Okay? So, I think it's really great that you are talking to your cousin on the phone. And I bet, are you sad that you can't see your cousin? Yeah. I bet we're all sad when we can't see the people we love face to face. But for now, it's just better to keep everybody healthy and safe if we just talk with technology, so phones and our iPads and computers. Now, is there anything else you want to say to the boys and girls at Pictou Landing First Station? Are you sure? No? Okay, then should we wave goodbye? That might be a good idea. Do you want to wave goodbye? Okay. You were so excited to come see me. You just ran in. It kind of surprised me. I had to practice some breathing too. Okay, so bye. We'll see you tomorrow.